And we had a bit of success with some of the people from around the world that were able to go to these Benny Hinn conferences. The funniest thing that I've heard about it in that regard is that most of the people that would take this orgone with them and sit there with it during his shows, his conferences, couldn't see anything visibly happening. They'd come back later and they'd write me an email. I don't know if it was working or not. I mean, and so I would begin to ask them questions, and so that was the funny part, because this orgone prohibits Satan from literally arriving at Benny Hinn conferences like he normally does. And so he would sit there endlessly for half hour, 2 hours, just singing and having the chorus go on and on and on, and talking and not really knowing what he's talking about, just getting bored with hearing himself talk, waiting and waiting and waiting for Satan to arrive. And of course it didn't happen, so he had to pull out his fake sick people and act like he's healing them, because his show was effectively canceled, pretty much knocked out. We were able to keep the facades from happening. He does get this limited power from Satan, the same way that the second beast of Revelation 13 does. If you read the role of the second beast, the false prophet, able to give miracles, signs and wonders, supernatural signs, this second beast gets all their power from Satan. And that's the same way Benny Hinn works, and a lot of these faith healers work, is that they get their power from Satan, and they can do limited miracles. And that's why it's deception, folks, because it's good. I mean, if it's like, okay, you've got a healing, but where is the power coming from? The source of the power coming from? Who's it coming from? The Lord or Satan? People don't ask that. They think just because somebody is able to heal somebody, perform a miracle, that automatically that they must be of God, and that's not true. Satan can mimic a lot of the same power that the Lord has. He's a lot more limited. He can't raise somebody from the dead. That's one thing he cannot do. And if I ever saw him, I ever get to confront him, I'd ask him if he's God, and if he is, go create his own earth and get off of ours. He couldn't even create his own tree. And so, just a lot of deceptions coming on with these people, with these beings, these beasts, because they're beasts from hell. And I've always been saying to watch out for Benny Hinn. Listen to what he's up to, because he is a mouthpiece for Satan. He's one of Satan's mouthpieces. And when you look at what's going on with the calendar right now, especially with Israel and Arab and this Middle East peace process conference that they're going through right now, on November 26th, they're going to be meeting, it's a November 26th summit, and between the Arabs and the Israelis. And interesting that the Arabs want all of Judea, Samaria, and Gaza as part of a new Arab state, a state of Palestine that would run alongside Israel, with Jerusalem as their capital. And of course, the Israelis not going to want to give up Jerusalem. And so this tends to be going to get interesting, because if you listen to Benny Hinn earlier in the year, he was talking about something wonderful going to happen in Israel in November. And so how could he even consider? You have to remember, Benny Hinn is Arab. He's not even Jewish. He's Arab. He's one of these hidden Arabs. You know how we have hidden Jews all over the place? Benny Hinn is a hidden Arab. It's so fitting that Maitreya, the coming Antichrist, is Arab. And they're going to schmoozle the Jews out of their land. He's going to come, and I saw it in the codes, how he comes on with a declaration. And of course, if you look at shareinternational.org, their main website, they talk about the day of declaration. When Maitreya arrives, there would be a day of declaration. And of course, they describe it as a time when he'll demonstrate to the world his true identity. He'll appear on everybody's television screens around the world at once. All the television networks around the globe being linked together. He'll be invited to speak to the world. Everyone would see him on television and be able to, supposedly he's not going to move his mouth and speak. You're going to be able to hear him speaking to your head. And at the same time, hundreds of thousands of spontaneous healings and miracles taking place throughout the world. To try to boost his credibility, his claim that he's going to be this new world teacher for all humanity. He's going to come as a world teacher. This is before he dies and comes back as I'm God stuff. But of course the Arabs are going to embrace him as their 12th Imam, their Mahdi, and the Buddhists are going to embrace him as Buddha. There's no way, if they found a snowball in hell, I can see one Christian embracing him as the Son of God. So he's going to have a real problem. Probably why even the apostate Christians, the one who still call the Son of God Jesus and still have their heads wrapped up in Paul and drowning in the churches on Sun God Day and don't keep a commandment if you nailed it into the wall of their churches like most of them already have and don't keep, like honor the seventh day. I don't even think the apostate Christians would buy Maitreya as being a Messiah. So he's going to have a problem with that, and he does. But what he's going to do is once he consolidates everybody else into his kingdom, so to speak, he's going to start building his own little kingdom on earth. He's going to war against the Christians. And if you look in Revelation chapter 13, it's one of the first things the Antichrist does is war against the saints. And this is before the second beast even comes on the scene, and so it kind of fits everything I see in the codes. As far as this Maitreya and this Sananda, and which beast is who, and which beast is coming first, because Maitreya is always coming first. I had a really awkward vision this morning. I'm going to talk to you about it, because it's just been on my mind and heart all day long. It was just one of those freaky things. I was kind of in a half-sleep state, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Kind of just like awake but not awake. And I was looking towards my window, and there was a young man standing there. I knew this was, somebody from ancient times. It was a young person, a young boy, not exactly a boy, but not a man, just kind of somewhere in the middle there, maybe about 19 or 20 years old. And he had this dark brown hair, and I've never seen this color brown in America before, so it has to be some kind of European or Mideast descent or something, because it wasn't black. It was a really dark, pretty color, dark brown hair, just a really dark brown. Something you don't see in America. You don't see this color dark brown unless you got a Clairol box or something and try to imitate it. It's not natural color here in America. But he was standing there, and I saw him standing with a wooden sword. And this wooden sword he kind of put up towards his face, like leaned up against his head. And at the time I'm looking at this person and I'm thinking, who is that? I wasn't scared or waking up or jumping out of bed. I'm so used to this stuff. I just sit there like, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, who is that? And the thought came to me, that's Ishmael. That's Ishmael. I don't know how I knew it was Ishmael. But it was Ishmael. I know it's Ishmael. And you'll recognize Ishmael as the son of Hagar, Abraham's son that he had with Hagar. The one who the Lord had promised and blessed, told him he would have 12 princes. He would have he was blessed with a great nation of people, just as Isaac was. And so I'm wondering, what's this? He has a wood sword. And the thing that I kept thinking about was that he wants to fight for his descendants, but he has a wooden sword. He can't fight for his descendants. I don't know what the symbology was. But that's the things that kept coming to my mind at the time as I'm looking at it, is he wants to fight for his people and he can't. This coming Maitreya, he knows, they all know I know Miss Maitreya is coming. He is going to lead. I'd be one of these Muslims, these millions and millions, who have already been deceived.